The next guest on Smarter San Diego TV is the host of a very popular radio show, Big Daddy Radio. Please welcome back to the show, Big Daddy himself, Bryan Garrity.
BG's here. What's up, man? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you.
Yes. You, my friend. To you. Very well, thank you.
Great to have you here.
Love it. You know I love it.
Yes, I know you do. Now, I think a lot of people know you now for the socks.
Yeah,
first of all, first and foremost, for the socks. And
taking on a life of its own.
But a lot of people don't know that you actually went to law school and you were an attorney.
I didn't practice.
You didn't practice.
But I'll bet. I mean, I was in law for 10 years.
In law for 10 years.
Yeah, as a law clerk. And I went to law school. They kind of pushed it on me. And my parents were so excited because it just wasn't something that I felt. At the time, I was making more than most of the junior attorneys. That was at the time. And I just didn't have that kind of vision. And it was so adversarial that I had, you know, it's a long time ago, but I had like a major health scare at a very young age. And it caused me to think, is this really where I want to be? Is this what I want to do with my life?
Yeah.
And so I felt like real estate was a good option. I had friends in real estate. They're like, you'd be a great fit. You have the right personality. You've got all that legal background. You really be good with contracts and understanding them and terminology. I was like, yeah. And then that happened, the health scare. And while I was in the hospital for 10 days, I took some deep examination and I was on disability for a couple months, and then I was like, no, I'm not going back. That was a big, hard decision.
Big decision, but it's important because, like you mentioned, it's 100, 200 pages to get a real estate deal done these days. Like, you practically need to be an attorney to be able to interpret all that stuff. So you're able to provide a lot of insight in that regard for your clients just automatically. It's built in.
It is built in.
And today, you have a tip, and this is really just more of like a seller beware type tip.
It is, because it's rampant. So especially with inventory being as low as it is, like we've talked about on every segment, you've got to watch out because, number one, you need an agent with experience, and that means you need an agent that knows how to price your house. Something that struck a chord with several people that watched this last time was I had said buying the listing, and people thought I meant an agent is giving them money in order to choose them as their representative or their agent in capacity. And I was like, no. In other words, buying the listing means you go out, you've probably not done any of your homework, would be my guess. But you go out to the seller and the seller says, my house is worth $850, and you have every single comparable sale, and there's no chance, no matter how beautiful that house is, that they're going to get more than $700. This just happened. So I really want people to understand that the best agents are the agents that tell the truth. So a good agent they're out there, they do their job, and they tend to try to deliver you good news. The great agents are the ones that aren't afraid to tell you the bad news, that aren't afraid to tell you the truth.
Right.
And I truly believe that. So you as the homeowner, when you're going to hire, and remember, you're the boss, the homeowner's the boss, it's not the other way around. The agent is working for the seller, although the agent is working to get the seller, or should be, highest dollar for their house. That does not mean you let the seller dictate price. And I've walked away from listings where they've wanted to overprice their house. I knew there was no way I was going to get the house sold, and I just had to walk away. Because the sellers, and of course another agent came, picked up the listing, look at the MLS 60 days later, and there it was, selling for at or less than what I had quoted them for. So, and the reason it probably was less than what I had quoted, had they went with me in the beginning and we had done it. See, the longer your house stays on the market,
it will get stale.
It goes stale, but it also erodes the value. People don't understand that. It sends a mindset to potential buyers who now have access to all of this real estate data, and they start watching the price reductions, and they're like, oh, that house has already had 2 price reductions. I'm going to sit on the side and wait to see how low they're willing to go.
Oh, make an offer of 50 grand.
Low ball.
Yeah,
so low ball. So it's one of those two things, right? So when do they throw the low ball in? Maybe the first or second price reduction. But see, now you've set that stage for your seller, and it's very, very hard to unwind. And it is buying the listing. And agents that do that, listen, everyone could have a misstep. But there are agents that consistently overprice homes, and you'll go back and see all their canceled listings or withdrawn. And it's one of those things that it's shocking to me. It's shocking.
It's very interesting because, Rebecca, it's like when you are looking to sell your home, it's sort of like opening a bag of chips. Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, you have only so long before those chips get stale.
That's a perfect analogy.
I mean, and when they get stale, it doesn't matter if you close the bag back up or not.
No matter how tight.
It doesn't matter
no matter
now.
how tight.
It's
no matter
stale.
how tight.
That's all there is to it. So we went to social media. We wanted to ask some people about their experiences, sort of draw some conclusions for BG here, to Big Daddy to tell us exactly what his opinion is. So let's see what people said.
Yeah, so our question was for homeowners. What was your least favorite part about buying a home? Denise Garcia says San Diego is the best city ever, but for middle class to buy a home is almost unheard of. Shame on San Diego. FYI, born and raised.
Yes, as if that's San Diego's fault.
Yeah, I know. No.
Shame on you, San Diego.
It's not San Diego's fault. San Diego for being so
for having such a booming market. Shame on you.
Seriously.
What was interesting to me was we had Monica, what she had to say.
Monica said the least favorite was the sales rep.
And she said nos frego.
Nos frego.
Which I believe means not so hot.
Yeah.
Not so hot. Yeah.
So that was a common issue. And then, of course, what Michael Timpson said was also interesting.
Timpson, sorry, I'm not going to pronounce your last name.
Tim Chechen.
Tim
Chechen.
That's all right. You got to pass.
Achoo.
You can do it.
The mortgage ball and chain.
The mortgage
That
ball
was
and
his
chain.
comment.
So
See where people are coming from? It's really interesting.
I get it. People are the bubble. How I said it's frothy. Listen to what all those comments are.
Yeah.
Afraid to buy a house in San Diego. Mortgage ball and chain.
Too expensive.
All of that.
Yes.
Too expensive. Can't afford it. Priced out of the market. There's other comments on there exactly to that effect.
Yeah.
So to me, back to one of our first segments, when I said the market's frothy, and I got a little bit of flack from other agents, which kind of made me a little pissed because I was like, no, oh no, not me. I'll hold back. But because I really, show me. If it's not frothy, show me. Like how high can these values keep going before it explodes?
Yeah.
The incomes are not keeping up with the values. So look, as a seller, it's super important that you do your due diligence. Your cousin who just got their real estate license, who's just embarking on their new adventure, I would highly recommend you take a pass on that. Let them get some experience under their belt. Maybe you ask them, do they work with another agent that has more experience, like
could
in
they
a
do
mentor
a co-listing
capacity?
or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying don't use a cousin, but why don't you build in a protection with somebody that has substantial experience?
This is the attorney.
Yeah, I
talking
can't
here.
help it. But then I've got the
JD, I should say.
Yeah, I always say that selling a house is a unique business proposition. Every seller should be treated differently. Every sale should be treated differently. So if everyone's taught, like, have a listing presentation, show them all your pretty photos, show them everything you've sold. How about you change your way of thinking? Yes, your background should speak for itself. They should be hiring an experienced agent. That should be part of it. But if you're going to sell my house, I want to know, what are you going to do for me to get me the most that's reasonable, that I know is going to fly?
Right.
And somebody overpricing my home, because sellers are so emotionally involved with their home. This $850 to $700 circumstance I'm telling you, the sellers happened to be there, and they were very, very intense on the house. And they wanted the agents out of the way, and they wanted to show the house. And you've got to remove stuff like that. You need an experienced agent. You need to know where the comparables fall. And if somebody takes your listing and says, let's list high because we'll have room to negotiate, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're losing money. That's a bad, bad strategy, period. It's buying the listing and it happens too much and it's nonsensical. It's nonsensical. I don't get it. I don't.
That's why we love him. That's Big Daddy, Bryan Garrity. Make sure you check out his radio show, ESPN 1700, Wednesdays at 2 o'clock. Radio show just blowing up.
It is. I love it.
Been just amazing. Check it out. Everyone loves this show. And, of course, if you have questions about real estate, this is a guy who will shoot you straight. I guarantee you that. Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else.